I thought this song would be much easier to play due to the simplicity of the tracks. If you take the drum track, it's really simple. If you take the bass track, it's basically integrated with the chords, so it doesn't really do anything different, you know, anything that I stop what I'm doing to do it and the guitar goes in another direction or something. But when you put them together, it's not that easy. And for me particularly, I have tendinitis and this song is really repetitive. I thought that the repetition would be a good thing because, you know, you repeat something over the song so you don't have to play something different when in the second verse, in the third verse or whatever. But in my case, it doesn't really work like that. So I'd like to start by saying that even if you don't have tendinitis, fingerstyle is a more complex and more experimental field, you know, and tendinitis is already really common between guitar players, and most of them don't even know that they have it. But once they do a proper treatment and strengthen the muscles, strengthen the wrist, and as they get more confident in their abilities, they get more comfortable, so that they don't strain the wrist, they don't really put a lot of pressure when they're playing, you know, and the problem dissipates by itself. But it's a dangerous thing, so we must really be careful about it, okay? But this is a topic I'm going to talk in every guitar lesson. It's what I plan to do, you know, because it's really important that someone is talking about it in the guitar lessons, because a lot of people go on YouTube and they get a guitar lesson and they learn to play the song and they just, the process of practicing, no one talks about it, and they may end up straining their wrist or getting tendinitis or something. So if you follow my instructions and keep watching the lessons, you'll be alright. The original idea for the version of this song was without the bass drum and without the bass. And this made the song a lot more easier to play. And it can be played in a slower pace, so if you're a beginner or if you're thinking you don't want to spend much time in the song, or if you're having trouble playing it, especially if your wrists are aching or your hands or your arms or shoulders, whatever, take it down a notch. Even if you plan on playing this exactly as I play, it's interesting to not play the percussion in the beginning, just the slapping, so you can add the bass drum later and worry about the bass line later also. Even because in the first verse, the first chorus, I don't use the octaver. So in any case, take your time and don't push, don't force yourself to a higher speed. If you feel like you're straining too much or you're aching, take a time to stop and go stretch, go move around the house or something. So the song is in A sharp major, but its harmony isn't that simple as any jazz song. It travels through practically all the notes. So anyway, so A major, 2 octaves, third major, and this is the 7th, major 7th, okay? Alright, so you play this note here also, which is in A sharp, and then you move your pinky finger here to the 7th minor. So you go to the 5th here, okay? Okay, so now it's a D sharp with major 7th, then you play the melody with the 3rd major of the 11th note in major, and then minor, 3rd minor, okay? Now we play the D minor with 6th with the melody also, and major 3rd and minor 3rd. G minor 6 with the melody also in third major and then third minor. C major with minor 7th and melody also third major, third minor. So now we're in F and the melody goes in the 7th minor and 6th major. And to finish the intro, an inversion with A and F. These last notes, alright? So it goes like this. So this is the intro. I'm not gonna be stopping in every note and stuff like that. I'll try to increase the pace compared to other videos, making it more concise, because I believe that most guitar lessons that I've seen are too extensive. So you tell me if you think my way is better or worse, and if you understood everything. Okay, so let's make a test. So the verse is basically the same thing, playing a little bit more swing and less arpeggi, something like that. But I've changed the harmony a little bit in one or two chords. So we start with A sharp major, the same as the intro, and with our lowest string, the one that determines the melody, in minor 7th. So here we have a minor 7th here. Alright, so here this chord is D sharp. But this note we play, we double it, right? It's the A sharp, and then we go to D major with minor 7th. Alright? And this transition is E, A sharp. So here G7 minor, C7 minor, alright, so here we have an F with 7 minor and the second, alright, and the chords of the verse, they are the same until this F chord, which is the tail. It varies from one time to the other. So the first tail is simply this. A sharp C, B sharp D, okay? And now we go to the A sharp bass, with just the bar on the 3rd fret, releasing the middle finger and the ring finger, forming an A sharp with 6. And the transition is in G, A, returning to the A sharp in here. So it's a hard transition. You may want to slide already to A sharp. So for the second tail, after the F chord, you do an A sharp, doubling the 3rd. So you put the 3rd where you would put the 5th in a regular major triad, like this. All A sharp chords, when I do them in this part of the fretboard in this song, they have the 3rd doubled, okay? Except in the last one, where the song ends after it, right? It ends in A sharp. Then you repeat from GM to F, so I'll start playing from the F before the tail. Alright? And from A sharp to A and repeat from GM to F. So just this small part. So the whole thing until this point is F major with minor seventh with the melody in F and then in G. Okay, so the whole tail goes like this. And then there's an optional transition, E, G, A. Then you go back to A sharp. So for the verse is basically it. You play the first tail and the first time, the second time you play the second tail, the third time you play the first tail, and the last time you play until here, and then you start the chorus. So I'll play the last two chords. No, the last four. Okay, so here we start the chorus in G minor, then we go to C7 minor, and then we go to F with 7 minor, 9th and 13th. Try to say that fast. Which is this chord. Okay, so the 13th is the 5th, just higher. Okay, so this note is this one. And got the bass going back and forth from F to E, from E to F. Alright? And then we go back to G minor, but instead of G minor, we're gonna do another G. It's with minor 7th, but with the 4th note. Okay, I don't know the name of this chord in English. In Portuguese is quartal. It's when you don't do neither the minor third or the major third. You do the next one, the 4th. And the other two are the same. But when we come here, we are gonna make a different thing. Okay, so we are gonna play F, A, and this one, this is the D sharp with 2nd and 6th. And then we play A sharp, D sharp, and this chord, which is the D minor 6 with 9th diminished. Then A sharp, D, to the C minor with 7th minor. Okay, so this last part goes. Okay, then we play the last 3 strings, starting with the bottom one going up and doing slaps in the first 2 notes. So, okay. And then we return to A sharp with the second verse. So the whole chorus goes like this. So the second verse and the solo are basically the same, and the only changes are in the bass line. Okay, so and we don't use the first and the second tail, just the one before the first chorus. The octaver, the pedal, identifies the frequency of the bass until a certain note. So I've adapted the bass line to go until the D sharp. So everything that's below it, I can get in the pedal and octave it down to make the sound for the bass line. Okay, so basically there are changes in two parts. Alright, so this part, instead of so for this second part, instead of doing the F chord here, I do it here. I add this bass, and then I just play these three notes here. Okay, and then I play the bass in the A chord, and do it again. And then there's the second chorus, which has two differences. The first one is the percussion, where I added some bass drums in a couple parts, and the other one is with the F chord. But this part is optional. You can repeat the thing in the first chorus with the F chord. There are some interesting things in fingerstyle in here. There's the, for example, I play the string with my pinky finger from my left hand, but it's a little bit more advanced. So if you want, I can make a quick tutorial for this part. So I'll let you play with what you already have, which is the structure, the skeleton of the song. Alright, the rest are some small variations, and well, you can figure them out by yourselves or just do your thing. The details are where our personality lies, so feel free to do your own thing, improvise and play with the song, play with what you have, rather than just doing exactly as I say. And if you want to do exactly as I do, I'll put a tab available. It's a lot easier to learn from there. Okay, so the heart of the song is already with you. Now the bass drum, I really suggest you play it after having practiced everything until now and making it easy to do. Alright, then you add the bass drum, and unless you are in an advanced stage already, then you can jump straight to it and play it along. But the bass drum is really simple and it's really clear in the song. I don't see the need to put it in this tutorial. When you're practicing, remember to take pauses, relax your wrists, your arms, your shoulders, your back, and keep a good posture. Alright, it makes a lot of difference. And don't keep your elbows in this direction, keep them like this, every time you can. Now, in exchange for your effort in playing this song, in endeavoring in fingerstyle, in valuing my work and trusting in me to teach you, I will share a little secret. To record this song, I use a simple wool glove with no brand, inexpensive, alright? And it muffles the percussion, so you get a more dry sound.